Memories flow as the waves wash over me. Aeons ago, I was claimed by the sea. Disillusion of ego, Thalassa doth not cruel. For she taught me I am not a fool. Memories ensue as the waves are washing over me. Mine anguish grew, shut my heart under lock and key. So when Luna knew the hour, I became a castaway. Amidst perfect blue, mine corpus on display. Memories flow as the waves wash over me. I saw a doe, I was reclaimed by thee. Metanoia finalis, simo conciliavimus, asne amor, liberamur desperante. Memories ensue as the waves are washing over us. Oh, how long have they been sitting there?
Enough time. By the way, Aro is also here. How can thee forget that the new moon had arisen?
Well, just reminiscing on a past forgone. Thou desirous upon my memory, Aro? If thou hast listened carefully, then a few tidbits can be drawn from. Alas, not the time for me to dwell on dredged up memoirs, but certes, Aro, as thou art shall knowest in due time. Oh, that look. Oh, okay. You got me. My weakness is pouting. Fine. Okay. How about I tell you a tale of when I was not too dissimilar from you, a mortal. So, come hither, relax, as we swathe thee in warmth for our trip down memory lane. This must have been nearly 2100 years ago, before we became the Abyssal duality. There was just me. Well, Garandra was adrift in different waters, in modus operandi. My family and I were fortunate enough to be middle-class citizens of the Republic. Which Republic, you ask? Why, of course, the Roman Republic. Although, even in my lifetime, I would see the transition into the Roman Empire. I'm certain that must jog your memory. I could spend ages talking about it, but I believe you aren't here for a history lesson. Carrying on. I was in my mid to late adolescence, and Mama would often request my aid, as parents do, with her artisanal baking business. Together with Papa, we ran a thriving cosmopolitan restaurant.
Ooh, what kind of goodies were made? Hearing talk about food always gets me going.
Well, it seems both thee and Aero are eager, given the looks on both of your faces. Kinda cute. I suppose I can indulge you with greater detail. My mama's specialty had always been her millet loaves. In thus were rows with the aid of yeast. She would cut each loaf in half, carve a hole in the middle so that patrons could choose the ingredients laid out before them. If one had no idea what to choose from the myriad of offerings, her and Papa had their specialty dishes. There was the lacuna awry, in which sautéed anchovies and sardines were placed on a bed of fresh greens, then drizzled with olive oil and lemon juice to taste, and of course garnished with dried fruit and roast pine nuts. Then there was the lacuna pastores, a dish made with lamb chunks and olives braised in milk. Furthermore, was thickened with egg yolk and honey. Then you place the contents in the bowl and you top it generously with long pepper and some edible flowers. And then, yes, the final one I can think of on the top of my head, lacuna agricolae, a wonderful full-bodied vegetable dish filled with roasted carrots, parsnips, and turnips. Simmered tomato and garum sauce would be ladled on top and garnished with sautéed leeks. Sometimes beets were used, but only on special occasions. So many wonderful dishes. Perhaps someday I'll cook the both of you some food. Anyways, our popinacula garnered much favor amongst the public eye. And so when it came time for Ladimecalenses, we were sponsored by the city to provide provisions. During this time of celebration, I was allowed to roam free and explore. This was when I met her, sitting by a bonfire, throwing random assortment of things into it. This caught my interest. After all, how can anyone seem to be so bored on such a festive day? When she turned around, our eyes locked. I felt this strange ember envelop within my chest, a feeling I have never felt before. I just couldn't help but to be captivated by those piercing jade eyes. She spoke to me in a soft, almost docile voice. "Would you be able to offer me some food, boy?" What's with that surprised look, Aero? You see.
No need to fret, Yaz. I got you. So, Aero, before Yaz moved to the city, their family hails from Mesopotamia, which Yaz was the next in line high priestess. But on account of her intersex nature, the political setting erupted in chaos, and that is why their family moved to Rome, which then their parents made dress and live as a boy. See, that wasn't so hard to explain, Yaz.
Yes. Thank thee, Karandra. Anyways, pardon my tangent there, Aro. So, she asked me, and I simply couldn't refuse. I rushed as fast as my mortal feet could take of me, and I prepared a lukunai for her and myself. She looked at the food and seemed confused that I had given her such a nice meal. She gestured if money needed to be exchanged. I refused. Just told her the only payment I'd like is to spend the evening chatting and eating away. And so we did. Spent hours upon hours as the ever-shifting hue of the sky above came to a halt, when it resembled the twilight zone of these very waters. We laughed, sung songs, until she had to leave. Ere she left, I asked, "What is your name?" She smiled and responded, "Eris?" Wondering what happened after that? Well, we began meeting ever so often at high tide, and I even told her my name on that second occasion. This went on for many moons, but that first day was really special. The imprint of that illustrious bonfire whose reflections illuminated both the night and the waters. The first time in my life that I felt truly alive, and not just going through the everyday motions. Did that story of mine reminded you of a friend you lost, Aro? Oh, it did. I'm sorry. Oh, please. There's no need for those tears when the art aside us both. I know life on terra firma can be difficult. We lose people, and although others will come along their way, it's not to say they can replace those who are amiss. But that pain doth not needeth to bear deeper, no, bore, yes, further into our hearts. For remember this, Aro, you are truly unique, and there is no one that can replace you or us for that matter. Our pain, sorrows, and burdens to bear don't just have to be ours alone to carry that yoke. When depression and anxiety knock on our mental doors, or when Nurglites spew hateful words, remember, you are a gem and you will surmise all of those wretched things. Sorry, Garandra, I kind of taken the spotlight this time.
Yeah, you better, okay? Well, I suppose there's no use crying over spilled milk, 'cause they say, next time I'll have my turn. Just you see.
Sounds good. But for now, come, hero. Lay thy head upon our lap and listen to the song for the sea.